Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I am so excited to show you this ridiculously simple but delicious roast chicken recipe. I'm using bone and skin on chicken thighs. You could also do this with a whole spatchcock chicken and it would be phenomenal, okay? It's a sweet chili chicken. Sort of roasted. It's so good. I came up with this because I had about this much sweet chili sauce that I wanted, like Thai sweet chili sauce that I wanted to use up, and then I wanted to balance it with a few other things, and it was so spectacular. I already even made a reels on it because it was so good and I couldn't wait to share this with you. So now you have it both places because that's how good it is. So in this bowl, I've got some Thai sweet chili sauce. It's delicious, it's sweet, it's fragrant. There's already a hint of garlic in there. There's a bit, sort of a hint of cilantro in there, not a whole lot. It's phenomenal. To balance that sweetness, because it is quite sweet, I'm gonna use some sambal. I'm gonna use a good tablespoon of it because I do like a bit of heat. You can use sriracha, you can use any hot sauce of your choice. That's a great thing about cooking in general, but especially recipes like this, use what you got. I literally made this because I had that little bit of sweet chili sauce that, to be honest, I didn't even think it was going to be enough to make the whole thing, but it was. And then I made it again, and now I'm making it again, and it is going to be a staple for sure. And this, I think, would be really good on the grill. Like using this as a marinade or like brushing it onto your chicken right as it's almost done, like you would do with barbecue sauce. I think this concoction would be phenomenal, and I'm going to do it, and I'll share it with you on Instagram. Take some garlic, and I'm going to grate it. And remember, when you grate garlic, it just becomes much more intense and sharp. Add that right in. I also should mention that I preheated my oven. I'm gonna do one more clove, a small one. I'm preheating my oven to 425. I'm using a small roasting little thing, but I've lined it with some parchment paper because sweet chili sauce can tend to caramelize at the bottom a little bit and get stuck. So because it's not a non-stick pan, I just use a little bit of parchment paper. And then I'm just going to take this other little clove of garlic, if it can come out. I'm going to serve this with rice because it's how I've been serving it with rice, and I'll show you how I do my rice because it is the best method, I think, and certainly the easiest. Now, to balance that spice and sweet, I need a little bit of sharpness, and I'm going to go ahead and use some lime juice. You could use some rice wine vinegar, some lemon, anything like that would work, but a little lime juice works great. And then a touch of olive oil, light olive oil, any neutral oil will do. Give it a stir. Looking gorgeous. Okay, chicken. I mentioned I'm using bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. I have them upside down. Yes, you're not seeing things. And that's because I want to season and add that sauce to the base of the chicken, underneath the chicken, because that's all the meat. It needs flavor. You know what I mean? If anything, you're going to get more flavor from underneath of it because it's going to make direct contact because there's skin on the top. So some salt and pepper, and then take your marinade. I have an itch on my arm. Take your marinade or your sauce or whatever you want to call it and use about half of it and spoon it all over the chicken. Don't worry about double dipping because you're going to use all of it on your chicken anyway, so it doesn't matter. Here we go. And now you're going to flip this around. I used a lot on the bottom, but that's okay. You're going to flip it around. This is really easy too, with the exception that it has to roast for a good 45 minutes. The prep itself is extremely easy, and you can do it in the morning before you head off to work or what have you, and just cover it and keep it in the fridge. And then come home, preheat your oven, let it come to room temperature a little bit for like a half an hour, and then pop it into the oven. Then you really have, like, it's faster than fast food, right? You really have no work to do but to boil some rice, some salt and pep, because remember, I want every bit of my chicken to be well seasoned, like that. Just get it all over, and then just smear it around. And like the juices, when everything roasts together and caramelizes on the skin, and the juices of the chicken come out and mix with the marinade, sublime. Okay, every last drop goes in there because you're not gonna waste a single thing. And this is what I do. I take, these are like little baby peppers. I actually also did some tomatoes the other day, and they were fantastic. I throw them right on here, almost like a vegetable, and then take some shallots, cut them right in half, leave the skins right on. Maybe take out the first layer if it's just like naturally coming off. And they're all just gonna roast together and in perfect harmony and be delicious. And Joe really loves any kind of like roasted veg or roasted onion when it comes to roasting a chicken or anything like that. So it's nice. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. It's bothering me that that one corner does not have anything. I'm gonna pop it into my oven, and then it's just gonna roast for, like I said, it's just gonna roast for 45 minutes with very little to do on your end, which is lovely. Let me pop this in and then I'll talk you through my rice really quickly. Okay, this is how I make my perfect rice every time. Fill a saucepan with water. Do not measure. I don't measure nothing, okay? Fill a saucepan with water. Bring it to a boil. I rinse my rice. This is long grain rice. I rinsed it really well. Once you rinse it, add it to the boiling water. Make sure that you give it a little bit of, what is that? Part of a leaf of some sort. A pinch of salt. You're gonna let that boil for exactly 12 minutes. Uncovered, leave it alone, just turn it down so it doesn't boil all over the place. Exactly 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, I want you to rinse it. Nope, I lied to you. I want you to drain it. Don't rinse it. Put it back in the pot, no heat on, just put the lid on, let it rest for the remainder of the time. Perfect rice every single time. This was in the oven for 45 minutes, and I just want you to see how absolutely perfect and delicious that they look. Now remember, the top make it a little bit burnished in some places more than others, but that's because the sweet chili sauce is sweet. But it is delicious. It's not burnt, just so you know. It's perfect. If you're a foodie and if you're a cook, then you know that that's a good look. I also want to show you my rice, because remember, I boiled it for exactly 12 minutes in salted water. Put it in here once I drained it, and look at this. Perfect and fluffy and just spectacular. I love rice. I don't know how people can live without rice, because I will eat bowls of just plain white rice. It's one of my favorite things. Just get one of these in here. The juices that this makes is simply divine. I don't even know how to describe it. Also put a little bit of parsley or like cilantro on this because it needs a little green. But my mouth is watering. It's just phenomenal. Let me break into this. It just falls apart. It cooked perfectly. That sauce and a little bit of rice. Hot. It is so delicious. I can't even describe it to you. And then the rice soaks up all those juices. Sublime. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get this written recipe. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. Please make this. It will be your go-to newest roast chicken dinner, and you're going to love it. Bye-bye.